Hello YouTube, it's Candy215 and I'm going to be giving you another review today. Today I'll be giving a review on the Parker Vector. And this is my very first fountain pen I've ever owned, so I said, let me do a review on it. You can kind of see it's been through a few wars and still going through some wars, as you can see, but I truly love this pen. And this is not the only one I had. I had one here. And then I had another one, or I have another one, still in the box. And I had a fourth one, but I probably threw that one out because it just went, it died. It went through way too many wars. So I just want to give you a little review on this, and what I like and what I don't like, or the ins and the outs of the pen. So let's get started. So you look at the body, you see I have the red version with the chrome or metallic bottom. This pen also comes in all chrome, full chrome body. I would recommend that, and I will explain why in a short moment. But as you can see here, you have the red body, and then you have this metal clip. The clip is relatively springy. It will go onto a shirt fairly well and be secure. The bottom here, there's nothing on the bottom, it's just a metal piece, which is fine. On the top is a little bit interesting. You have this the red structure of the pen, but then you have this little black, I don't know, it's not necessarily a dot, circular shape on top, which is a little interesting. But like I said before, how they had a chrome body and why that pen is better to have, you won't experience cracks like you see here. This crack was a crack, and then ink leaked in and stained the pen. So I know it's hard to see, but you can definitely see that black area, and that's where the ink stained the pen. And there's another little crack there, and that's basically all the cracks on that one. Then you have another pen, another fountain pen, or another Parker Vector, and you have a nice size crack there. Kind of looks like Michael Jordan, kind of, if you know the Michael Jordan sign. And that's pretty much all on that pen. It was just mainly that crack. But that's why if you get the chrome pen, you won't have cracks or any of those issues. So as you uncap the pen, you get to this nice metal section, grip section here. It's nice. I mean, it's not super large, but it gets the job done. This is why I would say this pen's definitely a starter pen for someone, and it works well if you have relatively small hands. Because if you have large hands, you tend to want to, well, for me, I have relatively large hands, and you tend to want to hold the pen higher up, so you're no longer necessarily on the grip section, you're kind of on the grip section as well as on the plastic section as well. So it's kind of awkward a little bit, but if you have small enough hands so the way you grip your pen works for you, then this is perfect. Now you get up to the nib. The nib is just a pretty basic nib. It's really nothing special. You don't see any intricate design on the nib. It's just a steel nib. I should say metal nib. And you have the word Parker right there, but my camera definitely won't pick it up. So that's all that's with the nib. And on the back of the nib, on the inside, you have a little F in the inside, so you can see the F. And on the front, there is no breather hole. It's just it is what it is. But it's relatively smooth for the price it is now. I feel like it's a little bit high, but when I got them for like 10 bucks, I feel like that was, reasonable, especially if you just want a little fountain pen to, tote around with you. Now we're going to get into the insides. Like I said, we're going to do the ins and the outs. So here's the inside of the pen. This is the uses, or you're given regular standard proprietary Parker cartridges, and I have one in here right now. But what I've done with this cartridge, because I didn't want to buy a converter for the pen because I really don't use it, I just used up all the ink inside the cartridge, cleaned the cartridge out, and just start filling it with whatever ink I want to put in it. So I think right now I have, let me see, I have in it Waterman's Serenity Blue ink, which is here. So that's what I filled the cartridge with. And I mean, it writes well with that particular ink, even though it's a Parker pen with Waterman ink in it. So, and it's pretty simple. You just pop this off, and there's the cartridge by itself. One thing I like about their cartridges, they're nice and large, maybe and slender, so I feel like they hold a little bit more than your average standard international or standard ink cartridge. So snap that right back in. Other than that, the pen is pretty nice. I mean, for a starter pen at the right price. Also, I would just give a little warning to prevent cracking from occurring. Not to screw on the cap, screw on the grip section too tight, because I think that's how all my cracks have occurred. I feel like if you just screw it on, and even if it begins to unscrew, just keep screwing it on, but very gently. The more you screw it on, the tighter it gets, and the more it tends to stretch, especially if it's going through different climate, because the plastic expands and contracts. So just be very careful, because you don't want to end up like this, crack. And if you don't want to worry about cracks or anything like that, just go with the metallic, not the metallic, what am I saying? The chrome, which will be more durable. So now I want to give you a little bit of a writing sample to show how the pen writes. So this is the Parker Vector. So I just wrote Parker Vector, and you can see, and I also should tell you what ink's in here. So the Waterman Blue Serenity. One thing you can see when I was writing with the pen, there wasn't any skipping, there wasn't anything that I could see. I mean, you can do a little bit of shading here, and it seems that the feed keeps up with the ink and everything. It just lays down a nice amount of ink, and it's not relatively wet, it's somewhat dry to me. I mean, it kind of depends on what ink you use, and every pen's different, so maybe this pen reacts a little bit different to Waterman's Blue Serenity than the pen I'm currently writing with, because every pen to me has its own personality. So or something else I forgot to mention about the pen, the feed and the nib do not come out, they're not interchangeable. You can't buy different nibs for this pen, so you get the fine nib, or you get what you pay for. So maybe you bought a Vector with a medium nib, you can't exchange it for a fine nib. Just pointing that out in case anyone was wondering. But I think the pen is nice if you're a beginner. Just want to, you know, start experimenting with fountain pens. It's definitely something that you might want to consider. And I'm just showing you exactly what I wrote. So I just think for about you get this for like 10-15 bucks. You really can't go wrong, because if you don't necessarily like fountain pens, you're not out of a lot of money like some people who are experimenting with fountain pens decide to buy these really extravagant, expensive pens for like not $50, but like $75, $90, and they find out they don't like fountain pens, and it's like, wow, I just wasted my money. So give this a try with some other pens I reviewed that are pretty good starter pens, like the Platinum Preppy and the Platinum Preppy that I'm going to review. I don't have that review up yet, but I have the unboxing. That's a good starter pen to start out with. It's only like $3.50. Give that a try, and I should have the review up for that shortly. I'm waiting on getting another Platinum Preppy because my Platinum Preppy has passed away, sadly. But hopefully I'll have that video up for you guys shortly. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Keep on writing. Keep the write alive.